Today, we're going to be talking about two high quality stocks that are considered fast dividend growers and are perfect for dividend investors. Our very first pick is United Parcel Services with ticker symbol UPS. It currently has a dividend yield of 3.09% and a dividend safety score of 69, which makes it a safe dividend payer. It is worthwhile mentioning that last time UPS increased its dividend was by a whopping 49%, making it a very fast dividend growth at the time. Their last trading price for UPS was at $196.65 at the time I'm making this video, and it has a market cap of $170 billion, making it a mega cap size business. UPS has a stock volatility score of 0.83. A beta is a measure of volatility, and a beta of 1 suggests stock volatility proportionate to that of the overall stock market. And in this case, given that the beta is less than 1, it suggests average volatility and less volatility expected than the overall stock market. Looking at some of the key metrics around the dividend for UPS, it has a payout ratio of 40% at this time and a forward payout ratio of 47%. Both of them are considered low for most companies, giving UPS a ton of room to continue to pay and increase its dividends for years to come. It is worth mentioning that in the past 5 years, on average, UPS has increased its dividend annually by 6%. And in the past 20 years, they've increased it by annualized of 9%. UPS has been paying its dividends uninterrupted for the past 23 years. And in the last 12 years of those, they've increased it year after year, as indicated here. And you see it on the screen. From a payment frequency, UPS does pay its dividend on a quarterly basis. UPS currently has an annual payout amount of $6.08. And if you look at the timeliness of the stock, first, we're going to take a look at its dividend yield, which is about in line with their own 5-year average. As for their forward price to earnings ratio, PE, we are seeing a ratio of 15.1, which is slightly less than their own 5-year average of 15.9. When we compare that to that of the industrials sector, this forward price to earnings ratio is less than that of industrials. All in all of our indications suggest that the stock appears to be reasonably valued and it could be a good pick for dividend investors. Looking at the price range for this stock, the last trading price is hovering somewhat in between their 52-week low price of $167.39 and 52-week high price of $232.11. We are going to next take a look at a number of additional financial measures. The first thing is going to be earnings per share. We are seeing that almost classic, nice upward trend. And in this case, in the last 12 months, they had an earnings per share of $12.60, and they're estimated to have an earnings per share of $13 per share in the next 12 months. Next, we're going to take a look at their total sales or revenue. You're seeing that nice, steady growth in the last 12 months, showcasing $100 billion in total sales, which is the highest amount they are going to be having in the past 10 years. In terms of outstanding shares, ideally, we'd like to see the companies that have their own shares buyback, giving more value for investors. And in this case, we are seeing that in the last 12 months, there's 878 million outstanding shares on average, which is less than that of the past 10 years. And lastly, if you look at the return on equity, which measures how many dollars of profit a company earns for every dollar shareholders have invested, this company is kind of blowing it out of proportion in the last 12 months, showcasing 81% return on equity, which is way higher than the ideal threshold of 10%, which is just perfect. In this case, it's a picture perfect scenario here. Let's take a look at the past stock return of UPS before we move on to our second pick. If you look at the 1-year return for this stock, it is showing so far a return of close to 3%. This is a 1-year return as of today's date, going backwards. Let's take a look at the 5-year return. We are seeing a total cumulative 5-year return of close to 77%. And if you look at the 10-year return cumulative, we are looking at 157%, close to an annualized return of 15.7% if we were to do a simple average there. Next, we're going to take a look at our second pick of high quality dividend paying stocks that are very fast dividend growers. And this one is one in information technology sector called Corning with ticker symbol GLW. Corning, for those of you who may not be familiar, engages in display technologies, optical communications, and environmental technology. They offer glass substrates for liquid crystal displays and organic light emitting diodes used in televisions, notebook computers, desktop monitors, tablets, and handheld devices. This business actually was founded back in 1851 and is headquartered in Corning, New York. They did change their name back in 1989 from Corning Glass Works originally and to now Corning. Looking at the dividend yield for Corning, it has a dividend yield of 3.05% and a dividend safety score of 77, making it a safe dividend pair. It was last traded for the price of $35.38, and Corning is considered a large cap business with $30.3 billion in market cap. From a volatility perspective, Corning stock has a beta score of 0.95, suggesting average levels of volatility. And you'd notice that last time they increased their dividend back in February, where they increased it by 13%, making it a very fast dividend growth at the time. In terms of the dividend payouts, currently they have a payout ratio of 46% and forward payout ratio of 48%. Both of them are considered low for most companies. As for the last 5 years dividend growth, you're noticing a 12% annualized increase, which is very fast growth in that sense. And the last 20 years, they're showing an 11% per year annualized dividend growth. Corning has been paying its dividend uninterrupted for the past 14 years. And in the last 11 years of those, they have increased it year after year. Noticed here on the graph as well. They do pay out an annual amount of $1.08 if you look at their overall dividend amounts. Corning does pay its dividend though on a quarterly basis, and it is paid in the months of March, June, September, and December. From a timeliness perspective, Corning's dividend yield is currently 21% above their own 5-year average of 2.52, which indicates the stock may be undervalued. What's more, if you look at their forward price to earnings ratio, it is less than their own 5-year average, all of which pointing to potentially the stock being undervalued. And lastly, if you look at their 52-week price range, it is hovering a little bit closer to their 52-week low price. Looking at the earnings per share for Corning, you're noticing, for the most part, an upward trend with the last 12 months showing $2.21 in earnings per share, and the next 12 months expected to have $2.26 in EPS. As for their total sales as well, you're seeing an upward trend for the most part in the last 12 months, showing $14.6 billion in terms of total revenue. And lastly, in terms of the outstanding shares, we are seeing a nice decline in share buybacks here. In this case, for the last 12 months, they're showing 862 million outstanding shares. The number of their shares has increased compared to 2020. They have issued new shares, but when we compare it to that of the past 10 years, back in 2012, they've almost cut their shares by half. Lastly, if you look at the return on equity, you notice a ratio of 17%, which is higher than the 10% threshold, and it's desirable because of that. As for the stock return, Corning is showing a 1-year return of negative 13%. However, if you look at the past 5 year, they show a cumulative return of 23.8, close to 24%. And if you look at the 10-year cumulative return, close to 195% return, which is just remarkable. Well, there you have it, folks. A quick look into 2 high-quality, fast dividend growth stocks that are perfect for dividend investors to consider to buy or add to their watch list. Are you invested in any of these stocks? What stocks are you considering currently to add to your portfolio? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone else who might benefit from it as well. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Here on Momentum Finance, we post every week several videos about investing, including investing in dividend stocks, growth stocks, penny stocks, and crypto. We also talk about ways to reach financial freedom. Thank you, and I hope to see you next time.